What's going on, everyone? So there's a lot of speculation going around on LeBron James. What is going to happen? Is he going to request that trade? Is he going to stick around with the Lakers long term? Still think the Lakers are one of the best places for him. I think Luka is exactly the type of player that LeBron needs at this stage of his career. He's also the exact type of guy LeBron has been trying to get the Lakers to get since the bubble, really, right? That's why they went and got Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook and Schroeder again and D'Angelo Russell and all that stuff, right? Because they wanted to get somebody, because LeBron wanted to play more off ball, transition to that off ball player and let somebody else kind of take the reins. Why he kept trying to get Anthony Davis to take the reins over and over again, right? Well, one of the teams that has been linked to LeBron James in a potential trade for, year and a half now is the Golden State Warriors. And the Golden State Warriors actually inquired about a LeBron James trade last time there was rumors and questions about LeBron potentially wanting out and being traded. And, LeBron and Steph Curry playing in the Olympics together. And it was like, they kept talking about how they wanted to play together. And it was like, does LeBron actually, would he be willing to leave and go to the Warriors? Okay, well, what would the Warriors give up? So on and so forth. There's this whole kind of just talk about it, right? Well, of course, with the LeBron news and everything, there's reports that the Warriors are reconsidering offering for a LeBron James trade, that they're willing to potentially pony up what is needed. They have all of their picks between now and, 2032, so they could throw some sweeteners in it. They can kind of get there. Question is, how do you make it make sense for the Lakers, right? Now, LeBron has a no trade clause, so he can kind of dictate where he goes. But the Lakers also have to want to get the assets in return. It has to be a deal that makes sense for them, right? They're not going to trade him for a bunch of random stuff, right? And end up messing up their long-term cap space or anything else, right? It has to be a deal that makes sense. Well, according to the reports, there is some thoughts of maybe doing a Jimmy Butler swap for LeBron, and that the Warriors may be willing to give up even a first or couple firsts as a little sweetener for LeBron, because, they're both similar in age. They both probably have about the same amount of years left in the league. I mean, given LeBron, who knows, might be more, but LeBron is also better than Jimmy Butler. Also, Lakers would have to take Jimmy Butler on his new deal, right? There's questions about that. Now, Jimmy Butler and Luka Doncic could be kind of interesting. I don't know if it'd be. So there is an argument that it could be better than Luka and LeBron, just because Jimmy Butler is so good, playing off ball and doing the dirty work and the hustle plays and the defense and all that, and just kind of being that scrapper. And he doesn't really care about his point. LeBron has history. He has to get 10 points. He has to, maintain a certain level, right? Jimmy Butler doesn't really care, right? Jimmy Butler is one of those guys that's hey, whether it's you need me to get you 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and just defend the best player on the other team all game, sure. You need me to go get you 20, 30? Sure. Whatever you need, I can do that for you. And Jimmy Butler at this stage is probably not best as the guy, but you'd have Luka at that point, right? Give you some toughness, right? Get a guy that slots in at the 3, which has kind of been the Lakers' biggest issue outside of obviously the center position, but you'd have, Luka, Austin Reeves, which you finally get to see what that looks like, right? Which would be good to see it beforehand, because at least if you see it this year and it doesn't work, then you can figure it out with Austin Reeves and trade him if need be, rather than LeBron leaves. Now you have to give Austin Reeves a big contract and you're paying him $40 million a year. And then if it doesn't work, now you're in trouble and could potentially be stuck, right? So that's something else that the Lakers are going to have to kind of figure out here, right? So you could make the argument, you kind of swap Jimmy Butler for LeBron James. Maybe you get a first or 2. Can you kind of put the pressure on the Warriors? Be like, hey, we're going to trade him to Cleveland unless you give us what you want, right? Wouldn't you love to see Steph and LeBron on the same team together and try to go contend for a championship type thing, right? So maybe it's something like that. And then, if you can you got to keep in mind too, if the Lakers get a first or 2, right? Well, then that would now give them 2 or 3 firsts that they would have now that they could use to trade. And the Warriors first are probably going to be very valuable because, LeBron and Steph, let's say they have 2 more years together. If you get a 2027, 2028 pick, something like that, right? You time it right, those could be some pretty valuable picks to some opposing teams. Well, now you just have more assets. So not only could you get a Jimmy Butler, right, and some assets in it, you'd still have all of your tradable players that the Lakers are looking to trade right now and could go and pony up and get other players or other needs, right? Like, do you still maybe go get an Andrew Wiggins and then go and get, I don't know, can you try to, I mean, you can make an argument to keep Rui Hachimura at that point, right? And slide him to his natural position of the 4, right? And have, Luka, Austin Reeves, Jimmy Butler, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton. I would like some perimeter defense. So again, do you maybe go with Andrew Wiggins still? And yeah, I would love personally, and this is just me personally, Luka, Wiggins, Butler, DeAndre Ayton, and then go get somebody at the 4 spot. Like, can you turn Austin Reeves into like a legit like 4, like one of these better 4s? Like, I don't know. Right? You just kind of figure something out. Right? It's one of those things, or maybe go get another like big man that can slot in at the 4, 5 something. I don't know. Like, I think you could figure it out. Lakers also have several guys that could slot in at the 4. Right? I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. I don't hate it. Right? Like, Jimmy Butler, he's still really good. If he's on the Lakers, bought in, him and Luka, right? So he doesn't feel like, I'm riding, LeBron, who, I played in the finals and beat me and stuff. It's like, oh no, me and Luka teaming up to take down everybody, right? My last hurrah. And, you kind of line up in the space that you want. You kind of see how that plays out. The problem is Jimmy Butler's health has not been great, right? The only other route outside of Jimmy Butler would be they'd have to like do a stack trade, but like, how does that work? Right? Like, sure, could you sign and trade for Jonathan Kuminga, which I would love to have Jonathan Kuminga, right? Could you do, but like, how much are you paying Jonathan Kuminga? All right, say 4 years, $100 million, it's $25 million a year, right? Okay, you still need to come up with another $27 million in tradable salary, and the Lakers have a full roster. So Lakers would have to like do some configuring or unload players. Like that could be incredibly challenging, right? Because they would have to stack like 4 guys, or you'd have to take on like a Draymond Green. But I don't think they would trade Draymond Green, because at that point, one, Draymond would probably be furious because he finally gets to play with LeBron. 2, like the only deal that makes sense for the Warriors would be a Jimmy Butler for LeBron swap. You're basically swapping those 2. Which, Jimmy Butler wasn't really too keen on going to the Warriors to begin with. Kind of, once he got there, settled in. Right? Would he be willing to go to Lakers? Right? And it's like, hey, I get to play with Luka, Austin Reeves. You kind of get to see what Austin Reeves looks like. You get to see and kind of experiment before you really got to commit, which is probably the biggest kind of argument to do that. Again, I don't think LeBron is leaving. Like, I don't think LeBron goes anywhere. And the best trade for the Lakers would be the Cavs, because Lakers, Darius Garland and Jared Allen don't make sense anymore because you have Luka and DeAndre Ayton now. But you could probably get some nice returns for both. And it's not one of those things where it's like, Cavs would have no choice. If they wanted LeBron and they wanted to trade for LeBron, they would have no choice but to trade at least those 2 and then some. They'd have to trade like 3 or 4 guys to go get LeBron. But the argument, and even from the Cavs side of things, because there's been Cavs like insiders that have talked about this, and they've all said basically the same thing, that it makes sense. You kind of get that last push with him, Evan Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell, right? Kind of get that last push for a season or 2 to try to go win a championship in a wide open Eastern Conference that LeBron historically has dominated, right? LeBron can kind of ride the youth during the course of the season. You'd still have plenty of depth if you're them. But also when LeBron leaves, then you'd have the cap flexibility now to go kind of figure out the Donovan Mitchell situation and Evan Mobley, right? And they've been wanting to move Evan Mobley to the 5 for some time now. So to me, that's the only thing that makes sense regardless. Well, also, if you're the Lakers, like you get Darius Garland, you get Jared Allen, and turn those, like add a 4th or 3rd or 4th team, which probably take a 3rd team regardless, but maybe you can turn Darius Garland into something, especially if you're getting off of LeBron, right? So can you turn Darius Garland into like Miami? Right? Can you get, Andrew Wiggins right? Can you now maybe turn, Darius Garland into, I don't Andrew Wiggins, Jovic, right? And like a Jaime Jaquez or something like that, right? Get some young guys involved. I mean, I'd love a Khalil Ware, but I just don't think that they would trade Khalil Ware even for Darius Garland, right? Kind of maybe do something like that to where you're kind of getting a couple guys, right? Getting some youth, getting some depth. Getting that guy that can slot in at the 3, and then maybe you can turn Jared Allen into a better kind of fitting 4, somebody that could slot in at the 4, and then now you have kind of that guy along with a DeAndre Ayton, and then Andrew Wiggins, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. I don't know, right? And then plus you probably also get assets in the deal too and stuff like that, right? Because you're sending out Garland and Allen elsewhere, and those assets are coming to you. So again, we'll see. Right? Like if you can get picks in the deal, I don't hate it. Right? For Jimmy Butler, like if it's Jimmy Butler and a first or two, I don't hate it because now you just have more assets to go do the other moves and things that you need to try to go push for a championship. And if Jimmy Butler's done more with less than Luka Doncic, right? Like, so again, like, I think that makes a world of sense. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.